You have queued up the Roulette Tapes, a program of adventurous music and conversation recorded at the New York City Concert Hall, Roulette. You can hear thousands of concert recordings from Roulette's past and present and find news of upcoming events celebrating innovation and imagination at roulette.org. Aren't you curious?
Hello and welcome to the Roulette Tapes. I'm Susan James. I'll be your host. In this edition, we focus on several performances by the late composer and trumpet player Jaime Branch, all recorded live at Roulette. Jaime Branch passed away in August of 2022, leaving behind several recordings and many memories for her fans to cherish. We'll hear personal recollections on Jaime from her friends, family, and bandmates. We begin with the ensemble Fly or Die, and some memories from Jaime's sister Kate.
Earliest musical memory. It's so hard because when I think of Jaime, music is the first thing that comes to mind. You know, she was just always surrounded by music, making music, talking about music, reading music. I think when I close my eyes and really think about my sister, I see her in the living room playing long tones, circular breathing, just constantly lip to mouthpiece or fingers to piano. Or, you know, she loved to carry around drumsticks, probably just to piss off my dad. She was just always making music, you know, and sometimes that music was beautiful and soft, and sometimes it was loud and in your face, and it was just never one thing. It always made me feel a certain way, and when I would watch her perform, I felt strongly about that too. She would kind of force you to confront something with her music. You know, I felt kind of like every session was cathartic. You know, something came out of me or because of her music. And I think she did that her whole life when it came to music.
Cellist Lester St. Louis.
So Jaime and I met in the late summer, early fall of 2015. It was at a show that the saxophonist Sam Weinberg had put together at his house. And we were both doing solo sets that night. And Jaime was the last up. on the bill, and she came late, like, you know, got a drink, quickly unpacked her horn, and started playing, and it was really striking. It was extremely lyrical. She played this, like, long, kind of D-modal-y solo trumpet performance, and I was just kind of blown away by, one, how loud she was. Like, she could really blow, and, you know, had and played a lot of ideas that were kind of reminiscent of Miles to me, but she really held her own and really held the continuity through the performance. And yeah, that was the first time I heard her. We spoke and met a little after that, and, you know, the rest is history.
Bassist Jason Ajemian.
Fly or Die was Jaime Branch's quartet of herself on trumpet, myself, Jason Ajemian, on upright bass, Lester St. Louis on cello, and Chad Taylor on drums. Jamie's charts had basically like bass lines, chords, or melodies. You know, it had the bottom and the top. The middle parts were always sometimes figured out. The beats were ideas, descriptions, you know. So the first record, there was it was kind of written through almost more as a set. So it'd be like she'd write the transitions, but the transitions would be descriptive. The improvised parts would be descriptive or graphic, and the melodies and the bass lines and those things would be like composed, and then it'd be a description of how we're getting out of that, or how we're moving forward, or what we're going to be improvising on.
Lester St. Louis.
So in December 2017, Jaime had reached out to sub for Tamika on a Fly or Die tour that was happening in January of 2018. And we had this rehearsal at Jamie's house, which is down in Red Hook. And it was kind of, you know, exploding into her world in a way that maybe I hadn't before, of like, you see her house, you see all the instruments everywhere, you see all the art everywhere. And it was great. It was with Jason Ajemian, the bass player, and Mike Pride was subbing for Chad because he was going to do the Boston gig with us. And yeah, it was really laid back. She gave us all some drinks, and we talked through the music and like played bits of it and like talked about some of the ideas and just played throughout, and then we hung the rest of the night. And it was kind of really indicative of what the like future experience of playing in that group is. Just as much like social component as much as the musical component. Both are really strong.
Jason Ajemian.
Prayer for America is kind of a dream of an America that got itself right, didn't hold on to racism forever, that didn't hold on to the racist parts about America, and held that ethos of welcoming people into America, like the quote that's on the Statue of Liberty. And it's a prayer that America got itself right. It didn't keep holding on to these tropes and these racist ideals that America was founded upon.
Oh, it's a prayer for America. Oh, it's a prayer for America. Yeah, for the good, the bad, and the rest of you. Oh, it's a prayer for America.
Leicester, St. Louis.
We were in Hamburg at the Elbphilharmonie, and we had just played the show, and the applause is going along, so it's like, all right, we need to have an encore, right? So we're all talking backstage. We're like, are we gonna go back out, or are we not gonna go back out? And then Jaimie runs off into her dressing room. She plays a couple chords on the piano, just because. And we're like, Jaimie, we're going back out. So we get her, and we send out Jason to start off the song that's called The Mountain. We're all kind of behind the door, peeking out, kind of making fun of him, because we love sending Jason out to start the encore, even though he doesn't want to. And I think the thing that makes it such a great memory, it's the kind of mischievous fun of we're all gonna go out there, but we kind of love teasing each other, sending one person out to start the encore. And I just remember I was in the first one, peeking into the door, and I can feel Jaimie right behind me, and I can feel her hand on my back, and she's just laughing, and I'm just laughing too with it. And Chad is just pacing around. And I think it's my favorite just because I miss experiences like that,
Bassist Luke Stewart.
I think the first time we played a concert together was also in DC at a place called Bossa. It was a concert with she and I and saxophonist Jared Gilgore. And it was like, our musical meeting, and that we all knew would be fantastic, and it was. And it really helped propel the musical relationship. Well, the one that we did here at Roulette was called Trois. That was with drummer Chaucer Holmes, also in Irreversible Entanglements. And, that was a band that, came about organically, so to speak. We did a lot of touring together, or would see each other on tour a lot, as well as here in town. Our bands were sort of like sister and brother bands. We would get booked together a lot. And so we sort of formed a really nice camaraderie, a community, a family around, the propulsion of our bands of Fly or Die and Irreversible Entanglements. Also, Jaime Branch Trio with Mike Pride, drummer. We did a number of recording sessions, and it's one of those bands where sort of every time we played, we unlocked a new vibration to really like get into things, to get deeper into the music.
Luke Stewart.
Well, she was always, interested in gear and electronics and electronic music and just other forms of making music other than the trumpet, even though that was, obviously her main instrument. But she made those other instruments, incorporated those other instruments as her main instruments as well, solo sets, and with the band Anteloper with Jason Nazary. That was another band that we shared a lot of bills as well. We did a tour down south and back, basically. Got to sort of see that band develop and break new ground in real time. Could really sort of hear and feel innovating, from my perspective at least, innovating ways of making electronic music in an improvisatory way, but in a way where some people talk about just busting the machines open, and that's what they did. and that's what she did. You know, that band in particular was really, truly innovative, and yeah.
Drummer Jason Nazary.
Anteloper was kind of a way for us to explore kind of our like kind of sound design, synth, more kind of explosive, like beat, hip hop oriented, like electronic music worlds, you know, that we were into. You know, Jaimie in this project, and she did in some of her other bands too, but I think more in this, she was playing the Juno and had like a couple loopers and a bunch of effects and a couple other synths as well. So she was kind of rocking that world, along with like sending her trumpet through all that. And then for me too, like it was an opportunity for me to also like kind of get deeper into how I was working with electronics, like triggering them with the drums and just using different synths kind of along with playing acoustic drums and kind of creating this, you know, bigger kind of electronic sound than maybe we were doing with other bands, you know. When we our first gig was opening up for Jeff Parker at New Blue, and yeah, they asked Jaimie to put a band together. We had like kind of been talking about it, and we got a rehearsal together, and we were maybe gonna do a trio, but could only get it together like for us to play before the gig. And then when we got in the room and started playing, it was like, oh, we don't really need anyone else. We've got a quartet's worth of sound or more happening, you know, with the two of us.
Jason Nazary.
There weren't too many sets where Jaimie didn't bring all of herself, you know. She was like, when it came to playing music, it was like 110%, like always, for sure. And definitely like being a birthday gig, it was like a celebration of that energy in her. And of course, like, yeah, bringing Luke, who I've played in a bunch of different contexts with, and Mike, who he was one of the first drummers who I met when I moved to New York and had been here before me, and just a fantastic dude and fantastic drummer, and you know, always an inspiration. So as I said before, there weren't really any gigs that didn't feel really important and special. It was every time there was music to be made, it was like it was all in, and it was all consuming, you know.
Kate Branch.
Her mission and her purpose really always was very true. I never caught my sister in any type of false moment. She was very who she was, always. She was just an incredible person. And she loved music. And I think she really thought it had the ability to change people and make them softer and more welcoming to others. And I'm just incredibly proud that she did that. She played her part.
You've been listening to excerpts of 5 concerts featuring trumpet player Jaime Branch. Our thanks to Jamie's friends, collaborators, and family who contributed to this program. The music you heard was all recorded live at Roulette, and the full-length performances can be heard on our website, roulette.org/archive. These recordings have been preserved as part of the Roulette Concert Archives, a project made possible in part with support from the National Endowment for the Arts. David Weinstein is Roulette's Director of Special Projects and Senior Producer for the Roulette Tapes. I'm Susan James. Thanks for listening.
You have been listening to the Roulette Tapes, a program of adventurous music and conversation. This series is produced by Roulette Intermedium. You can find thousands of concert recordings from Roulette's archives and news of upcoming events at roulette.org.